Hit-chan, go away. Hit-chan, leave me alone. Hit-chan, let me sleep. After 2 nights of not being able to sleep at all, the last thing I want is to be woken when I finally managed to. It made the last period of class with a textbook as my pillow, but I'll take whatever sleep I can get at this point. See, Hit-chan, even Shi-chan wants you to get up. I don't care what Shizune wants, leave me alone. Jeez, Hit-chan, I'll just have to wake you myself. I'm up, you don't have to. I can feel my face flowering with a scarlet red blush. The students still in class are sitting bolt upright and staring at the shouting fool who was sleeping just moments before. Damn it. I let my head smack back down at the table with a noticeable thud. Wah! Misha's trademark uncontrollable laughter reverberates through the classroom. As I turn my mournful eyes to the bespectacled Shizune next to her, she carefully adjusts her glasses, desperately trying to maintain a look of serious disapproval. Narrowing my eyes, I can see the badly hitting grin across her face. Tu, Shizune? Shizune looks away quickly as she crosses her arms tightly, barely on the edge of her control. Wah! Misha's laughter doubles in volume as she glances at Shizune. All I can do is drag my hand down my face in resignation. You too. Who is the one who slept in class, Hichan? It was me. Poor Shi-chan was just trying to wake you up, weren't you? I move my eyes back to the standoffish Shizune, who, with a single huff confirmation, returns to looking away with her arms crossed. Why was Shizune trying to wake me up? Shi-chan wanted to give you the handouts the substitute teacher gave out while Hichan was sleeping. Handouts? Bleh. I slowly find 2 sheets of paper thrust down in front of my face. Following the hand holding them, I see the still pouting figure looking down at me with a distinct scowl. I guess I really am in the wrong here. Sorry about that. No dice. Her irritated face still holds. I clasp my hands together and flick my head downwards in apology. Very, very sorry. She huffs and simply drops the papers on the desk. Damn. I look over my hands to see Shizune and Misha signing frantically to each other, a look of frustration on Shizune's face. It looks to be less of a dialogue and more of a tirade, punctuated with sidelong glances at me. To say it's unsettling is an understatement. The 2 suddenly stop signing and look at me in unison, both having exactly the same look of disapproval. In one fluid motion, Misha's hand suddenly extends high above me and comes rocketing down. Before I can even hope to react, my head is sent bouncing up and down like a jack-in-a-box. I quickly bring my hands to my head, more out of reflex than natural pain. What's up, Jarl the Gummy? How you doing, dude? Ow! What was that for? I open my eyes to see the 2 grinning at each other while exchanging an enthusiastic thumbs up. Shi-chan says she forgives you now. Could you forgive me with a little less force next time? Wah! I look at the 2 with a blank face. Misha and Shizune. 1, Hisao, 0. Oh, Shi-chan also says that you should check your student mail more often. Oh, it's the letter. Strange. Who could be this? Who could the letter be from? Give me up on the nap so cruelly stolen from me. I rub my forehead and slowly get up, putting the sheets and envelope on my bag before swinging it over my shoulder. I take a step back and move to depart with a small bow, while Misha clutches her sides laughing and Shizune nods back in a curt farewell. I join the flow of students exiting the school open door and turn the corner onto the hallway, only to end up face to face with Hanako. Ugh, how horrifying, I think. Whoa, hey Hanako. Afternoon, Hisao. Silence falls between us as busily chatting students pass us by. She's fidgeting constantly, her eyes drawn to her rather unremarkable footwear. I take the bridge of my nose in my fingers while I blink my eyes heavily in an attempt to make things seem clearer. I'm barely staying awake as it is. Hanako, you want to say something? What is it? I want to give you this. She holds out a small, rectangular sheet of paper. I blink again to make out the text. Through barely open eyes, slowly starting to make out what's written. Do you like me? Yes or no? Sorry, I got a thing for your hot blonde friend. Eggs! bread loaf, whole grain cereal. We're running out of time. Shopping list? I look upwards, raising an eyebrow. I usually go shopping with Lily, but I can't come, so... You want me to run errands for you? It's okay if you don't want to, I just thought that maybe, since you and Lily were practically banging each other. She's panicking. I sigh. Yet another lost battle. Though this time by a weakly fought surrender. I smile tiredly and rest a hand on her head to calm her down. It's fine, I was gonna go anyways. Just the stuff on this list. She nods then bows deeply, twice, as if to make her gratitude perfectly clear. We're gonna go meet outside the school gates at 6. Thank you. I was going to get it, but I need to study for the test tomorrow. Look at Hanako playing Cupid. So smooth, Hanako. Ah, test, science. How you doing with science? I've been spending more time on it than before. I think I can do okay. Good work then. She too starts smiling, and much more earnestly than I at that. I have full confidence I can do fine with it without any extra studying, but the fact that she's putting in the effort instead of just reading in the library is heartening. I'll grab your stuff and take it to your dorm in the evening. See ya. With a small wave, we part ways. I'll go do my homework before meeting Lily. I should be able to take care of it in that time. I know, right? Hanako playing the wing woman? So smooth. Wrangling with a particularly complicated math problem has caused me to be a little bit late for my meeting with Lily. Only a couple of minutes, but enough to make me step smartly out into the courtyard and to the school. Smartly? Why smartly? I make a right turn and start my way towards a small town below, leaving a few students turning the other way to the bus station. I slip my right hand into my pocket as I walk in the orange sunlight of dusk. Thankfully, the sweltering summer's heat started to die down, making my way for a pleasant cool breeze. When I stretch my hands high above my head, a familiar figure takes form, cane in her right hand. Ah, Lily! She stops and turns around, swiveling her head slightly to try to work out exactly where the voice came from. Hey, it's me. I quickly catch up to her, coming in beside her and matching her slow pace as we resume walking. Good afternoon, Hisao. Hey there. I glance up at the sky. A distinct tinge of orange discolors the clouds, washing the footpath in its light. Long shadows from the trees fall across the wide road on the hill. Lily can't see any of this. So, Hisao, what brings you here? Just going to town to grab some groceries, Hanako sent me. Hanako sent you? Yeah, she said she needs to study for a test tomorrow. I was going to come down anyways, so I'll buy her stuff as well. Unspoken is that Lily really could use some help to get food, but it's an obvious fact that neither of us needs to state. Haven't we? We've already gone shopping with Lily. Haven't we? I swear we already went shopping with Lily before. It's good to hear she's studying for it. I thought the same thing when she asked me to come with you. We continue walking down the street, the familiar sound of hurricane echoing through the air as we go. Except for the occasional passing car and the leaves whispering in the branches, there is a blissful silence. Thank God I can finally relax for the first time today. I glance over at Lily. She doesn't glance at me. There might be a problem with her eyes. The porcelain face of hers never seems to lack that air of relaxed confidence. I guess the same could be said of her personality, too. As she silently walks, her face remaining pointed to the street ahead of her, I look ahead and savor the cool air blowing over my face. This is probably the calmest moment I've had since the about-face my life took so recently. To have it while walking, to get some groceries, what a weird life. I feel the crumbled up note rubbing against my hand in my pocket and pull it out to check its contents. Let's see. Eggs, bread, cereal, thyme, lettuce, shaved ham. That wasn't there before. Sounds like quite a bit to carry back on your own. How much does this girl eat anyways? My mind suddenly clicks at yes, there actually is a person beside me. Wait. She laughs wholeheartedly. My Hisao. Her giggle punctuates her words. though she is making little effort to suppress them. Quite direct today, aren't we? You got me there. Still is quite a bit. Usually I go shopping with Hanako so I know what she buys. It's the same thing every week. She a good cook? It's usually me who ends up cooking. I used to do so for Akira, so it's no problem doing it for Hanako as well. You can cook? Score! A short hum with an amused lilt emanates from beside me. I wonder the fact that she seems amused by my comments so often is actually genuine, or rather just from a want to make me more comfortable in addressing her blindness. There are ways around it. Some meals are more difficult to cook than others. I am so confused whenever the recipes say, whenever the thing turns golden brown. What does that mean? I keep reading recipes and they say, when it's golden brown. I don't understand. Being unable to see what I'm doing, it usually takes a little more time. Fingers can double as very useful measurement tools, for example. It makes sense, but I still can't finger golden brown. She'd have to be pretty careful not to hurt herself. I wonder how many times that's happened, given that it sounds like she's cooked alone for possibly years while Akira worked and her parents were gone. With that, the conversation trails off. Compared to the awkward silences of Hanako, Lily seems genuinely content to say what she thinks and stay quiet when there's nothing to say. The slick road under my feet is bathed in an orange glow, the occasional fallen leaf crunching underfoot as we walk. I let out a deep yawn, my lack of sleep coming back to haunt me. Hey, SGZ Demon with the sub, which I swear is a resub. SGZ's Demon, thank you so much for that, dude, and welcome back to the Super Family. Not get much sleep last night? I couldn't sleep at all for the last 2 nights, probably insomnia. Lily's face suddenly becomes worried. It feels like a personal failure every time she gets worried about my well-being, even if it's genuinely nice to know someone cares. You have insomnia? Aren't you gonna see the nurse about it? Nah, no real need. It's happened a few times before. My meds screw with my sleeping occasionally. Oh, I'm sorry. Come on, it's not your fault. At least I shouldn't have any trouble getting to sleep tonight. You do worry me sometimes. I worry you? I reach around and scratch the back of my head. Kinda want to address this. Hey, Lily. Don't mean to sound weird, but could you please try to forget about my heart condition? She looks kinda lost. I hardly blame her. I guess what I'm trying to say is, just don't treat me any differently because of it. It's not like I'm disabled, Lily. Jeez. She bows her head slightly, her white cheeks reddening almost imperceptibly. It's only natural to worry about those around you, especially the ones you like. Well, it's nice to know there's someone like that out there. It may be somewhat embarrassing to say, but it's the truth. Lily takes a breath to regain her composure and manages a gentle smile, though her cheeks remain flushed. The final downhill walk to the store passes in silence. Welcome, says the store woman. My ears are bothering me today. Let's just take that off for a bit, for a hot sec. I suppose I'll get my stuff first, and Hanako's on the second round. Okay, why not just get both of them together? We have to walk slowly through for Lily anyways. I grab 2 well-worn red blankets from the stack beside the entrance and pass one to Lily. I put it on the floor, I guess. Just as she did before, Lily lays it on the ground and slides her retracted cane between the basket's handles before picking it back up with her right hand. Oh, right. And this is definitely at least the second time we've gone shopping with her. When she takes hold of my arm in her own, I'm surprised at just how fast this kind of casual contact becomes so natural, mostly due to necessity, no doubt. Shall we? Sure. While we navigate around the store, the odd person occasionally passing us pays us no heed at all. It's nice, compared to the stares and whispers around the city. As we reach each aisle, I quickly check with Lily what she needs and grabs it along with what I want, putting our items into their respective baskets. It's an odd feeling to be dependent on so much for something so basic as shopping. Hanako would be practically a necessity for her to pick out what she wants after all. Right, I'm pretty much done with both my stuff and Hanako's. You need anything else, Lily? SGZ Demon, you've played Katawa Shoujo? Yeah. No, this should be everything. Off we go then. Oddly, there is a queue a mile long. Considering the store is only large enough to warrant one counter, it seems like it'll take a while. Damn. Lily gives an inquisitive look, unable to see the reason for my complaint. The queue is really long. Looks like we'll have to wait. How strange. Sharing the same mood of resignation, we reluctantly take our place at the end of the line. One person finishes, the line moves up. Another finishes, the line moves up. By the time we finally reach the head of the line, I'm so close to dozing off that Lily has to gently pat me on the back for me to move up. Hisao, sorry. She gives a short sigh of consternation as I move up, getting the groceries for Hanako and me put into separate bags. Thank you, come again. We've done the Emmy route and we've done Hanako, and now we're doing Lily, and we're just gonna do those three. By the time we emerge from the store, Lily's holding a single bag while I struggle to carry 4, both hands well and truly full. It's a lot of work, but thankfully the items in them are light. Even without looking skywards, it's obvious that a surprising amount of time's passed, the road being darker and lit by street lamps. Once Lily retrieves her cane, we set out back to the dormitories the way we came, leaving the welcome, warm glow of the store. Yeah, it doesn't... It gives you like 2 weeks, I think, in between subs for it to count as a resub. Despite the road being empty of cars, the full bags abundantly make up for the lack of noise, constantly clucking and squeaking together. Clunking, not clucking, they're not ducks. My, Hisao, it's good to find that you're eating well. I'm a growing boy after all. I need to eat all I can. Must be nice being a man. Yeah, being able to stand up and pee is really nice. It's probably the biggest perks of being a guy. What? Seemingly not noticing or ignoring my surprise at the completely out of left field comment, she continues on without missing a beat. Weight doesn't really bother you when eating most of the time. I get what you mean. Women tend to worry about stuff like that more than we do, I guess. Exactly. Makes me somewhat envious, to be honest. And not like we can outright ignore it. With an affirmative nod, we continue on our walk. Oh, that's right. What is it? Hanako mentioned your birthday with earlier this year. Do anything special for it? She gives a long pause, lost in thought for a few seconds as she recalls the events. Not really. It was just Hanako and me having a little party during the night after school. Your birthday's supposed to be a big event, you know. Sounds like a pretty lonely way to spend a birthday, just her and Hanako staying overnight. Birthdays always felt like a family occasion to me. They were a time when, in spite of their full-time jobs, both my parents would make an effort to be there for the day, or at least for a party beforehand. Reminds me of how Lily mentioned she hadn't seen her family for such a long time, and even ended up moving away from Akira's house afterwards. But I guess it's the same in situations as mundane as these. Considering her inability to read the packaging, just getting groceries would be a pain without someone else around. In the end, she just has Hanako and me, and Akira's off from work. When she's off from work. Be that as it may, she still seems to have many more distinct friends among the students, not to mention people like Yuko. It seems to be her own choice that there's such a separation between those two who are close to her and those who she only socializes with. It humbles me a little to see how much Lily seems to have her life set up and going just as she wants. Yet Hanako is there for her to celebrate her birthday, and I'm here helping her with shopping. It's a weird kind of symbiosis, I suppose. Are you alright, Sal? Sorry? You just seem to go very quiet, that's all. Oh, I'm sorry, just thinking. Oh? Ah. Dun 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 dun. Okay, let's see. Choice time. Just tell her the truth, man. Let's just talk about this shit. Let's do it. I was thinking about how you seem to have everything so sorted out, even with Hanako relying on you. I can admit that even I kind of relied on you when I first transferred in. I think it's a good quality to have. I turned to Lily, surveying her reaction. She is forcing herself to look forward and furrowing her brow quite a bit. Her face looks a bit awkward, as if she was trying to find just the right words. Lily? You chose the wrong answer! I would thank you, but assuming I don't rely on the presence of others is too much. You'd be wrong to think that Hanako simply depends on me with nothing in return. She seems to have a bit of trouble saying it, even though it's largely what I thought already. If she's tried so hard to maintain her independence, as anyone would have to in her position, cited or not, maybe she finds it hard to talk about her own needs. It's only now that I realize an omission in what she says. I decide to follow it up, largely in jest, to avoid things getting too personal. What about me? She suddenly runs ahead of me and turns, blocking me off. With a smile, she holds her hands above her head as she leans forward. You're different. And with that, she turns back and continues to walk ahead of me, a newfound spring in her step. All I can do is raise an eyebrow and give a dazed grin. I don't think I've ever seen this playful and teasing side of her before. So I'm different? It's hard to work out the exact context, but knowing her, this ambiguity was intended. El Chato, you didn't see the answer? Oh, I guess you'll never know, man. Our relationship has been changing, at the very least, simply because I've begun to stand on my own feet more and started getting more curious about the situation of those around me. As to why, probably a mix of personal curiosity and a want to try to work out how to deal with my situation. I'm less sure of Lily, though. That's why her own statement, so similar to my own feelings towards her, throws me off so much. Watching her make her way up the street, cane tapping from left to right, I decide to settle the matter later and just smile. This is a nice side to her, and I don't want to forget it. Eventually we get to the girls' dormitories, both my arms aching from the weight of those 2 sets of groceries. We're finally here. Phew. I bend down to wipe my forehead from the back of my hand. With the back of my hand, Lily stops in front of her door and sets down her bag, fishing around her pocket for the key. Thank you, Sal. I really appreciate your help. This is nothing. It might be nothing to you, but it's definitely something for me. And with that, she steps through her door, closing it behind her. I blink. There are nothing but honest thanks, but I can't help feeling somewhat different about them. Anyways, I have something else to do before I can mull on that at my leisure. I turn back to the door to Hanako's room and proceed to knock twice, in quick succession. Bag still in hand, rustling together. After a couple of seconds, the door slowly opens. If one weren't looking closely, they could be forgiven for thinking it hadn't moved at all. No, my save points are just there in case I do want to go back to them ever. I twist my head. I made a save point at every choice so far. I twist my head to the side to try to peer through the tiny sliver of a gap between the door and the door frame. Hey, Hanako, I got your shit. With that, she opens the door completely, making her plain room visible over her shoulder. Sparsely decorated, it's probably even more unremarkable than my room. I hold out my right arm, both bags almost pulling it straight back down with their weight. Thank you, Isao. I'm sorry to make you carry them all this way. It's fine, don't worry. Just don't make me do it every day, okay? I pass the bags to her as I give a lighthearted chuckle. After the initial transfer of weight, she manages to take them easily. I'll be off then. Night, Hanako. Night, see you in class. With a deepened bow, her groceries still held in both hands, she steps back and shuts the door. Making my way downtown, walking fast. Do 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 ba 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 ba. Even as I do so, I can't get Lily's lighthearted smile out of my mind. When I'd first met her, it would have been nearly impossible to imagine her like that. Indeed, it feels like we've become closer in the past few weeks since I got to know both her and Hanako. The time that I spend with her each day, the small exchanges of happiness we share, those moments of joy as I get closer to her. I'm far from certain, but I don't think these are just normal feelings of friendship. Once I return to my room, I store away my groceries and begin getting ready for the night. I swap the school bag, the books in my bag for those I need for tomorrow. Ah, the letter. The letter. What, Blaze? Blaze, you're a cat. We're dating disabled girls, not cats. Although, I may have a cat dating game that we can play another time. Maybe on the docket, cat dating game. Yeah. I got so sidetracked by the one thing after another, I can't deal with it. Could it be written? Who could have written me? The name, neatly adorning the back of the envelope, freezes me in my tracks. It's her. Yeah. You're gonna see boobies. You're probably gonna see boobies, but it's okay because you only see boobies for a second. Why would she have written me? I can't think of any good reason for her to do this. I almost didn't open the letter, but there'd be little point to that. If I just left it alone, its mere existence would gnaw me until I did something about it. Letter. You don't have to download an 18 plus patch. It's just like in the settings. I think it's right here. Oh, speaking of. Oh yeah, I'll just leave that on. I look down at the piece of paper on my desk. It's bright and summery decoration, beaming happily at me. The lettering, isn't all content in this game disabled? The lettering is pink, jarring badly with a yellow sunflower border on the card. The handwriting is neat, the characters having been written thoughtfully and with an unusual amount of care. I barely given the letter a second thought when it was given to me, but now I can't get its contents out of my mind. While I like to say I don't know why she used such an old-fashioned method of communication, considering a phone call or an email would have been both faster and easier, the answer seems obvious given the context. A letter leaves a comfortable distance between the sender and recipient. Unlike a phone, it isn't required that you engage in conversation, and unlike email, there is less expectation of an immediate reply. Statements such as, the third years seem to be very anxious about the final exams, and it's so weird to think we're already seniors, isn't it? Are just small talk. Small talk that could have been achieved by simply replying to any of the messages I sent her while in hospital. The ending, though, is a true reason she sent this, the last couple of lines added almost as an afterthought. I wonder if we'll meet again. Perhaps it's for the best that we don't? It's a statement that should hurt. I've always heard breakups hurt. Breakups are nasty stuff, but it feels like this is simply reaffirmation of what we both already knew instead. So this is brought up like every time. Were we ever actually like dating her? We kind of like told her we liked her and then she gave us a heart attack, but could that ever be considered dating? It's the preceding text, no more than the small talk, that makes me feel most uneasy. I can't figure out why, no matter how long I sit there and look down at this bright and summery piece of paper. If you'd like to correspond with me, by all means, write me back. It's plainly obvious this is not the type of letter to be replied to. In the end, this letter is no more than a simple abdication of responsibility, a final statement to reassure herself that our relationship is over. As such, I find I have little problem in scrunching the letter and envelope into a ball and tossing it into the waste bin, ridding myself of its existence. I go to bed with mixed feelings, cheated out of a pleasant evening by this intruder from the past. Ironically, it takes a while before I can manage to sleep. So I guess letter just gets thrown away in here and Emmy route. We don't give a shit. So far, only Hanako route cares about the letter, really. I sweat profusely, awaiting the dreaded moment. It's a weird thing to wake up to. Every tick of the clock tenses my muscles that much more. Every minute making more hair stand on end. It's coming for me. I'm coming. Well, we died. GG. I take the small pile of papers from the students in front of me and pass it backwards after plucking off the top piece. Looking at the top right of the page, I find my fears realized within that small red circle. 43. You fuck boy. How? Oh my god. I am disappointed. I hang my head and sigh in resignation. Cursing under my breath, I can feel the aura of my similar sentiment rising from the entire class. It's strange, but that fact lifts my mood by a minuscule amount. Misery loves company, I suppose. As the teacher opens her mouth, the room braces for an inevitable onslaught, only to be saved at the last minute. We quickly move to collect our bags and leave for lunch post-haste, but the teacher delivers a parting broadside. We'll be discussing the test scores next lesson. Needless to say, there'll be quite some discussions to be had. I mean, look, Sensei. I feel like in all of our tests, there might be a common thread, and that thread is you. You say that we didn't study hard enough, while I say you failed to properly explain the study material. Ma'am, it is not we who failed, but it is rather you who failed us. Also, I was really lazy and I was partying last night, but it was your fault. I push a sheet into my bag as I walk along the hallway, crumpling it in the process. It's enough that such a troublesome letter ends up on my desk yesterday and now this. I hate English. Hisao! A stern female voice gruffly calls out from behind me. I freeze on the spot, my face becoming like stone. Is this I can feel my brain disconnecting from my body. My eyes slowly shift right, trying to catch a glimpse of the disembodied voice. It's a ghost! It was a ghost! My face begins to slip as time passes, and I decide to risk turning my head ever so slightly, twisted to the yeah. I jump into the air, drop my bag, yelling out in surprise. As I recover and regain my composure, I turn to see I should have known Emmy! She stands there with a mischievous grin on her face, hands forward and fingers pointed inwards. She was the one who jabbed my ribs with her fingers. I looked down at her with a grimace, rubbing my hair in frustration. That's no way to greet someone, you know? You have no sense of humor. Ugh. Oh, Emmy, I missed you so much, girl. I left my sense of humor in my English class, complained to the teacher if you want it given back to me. She pulls her best puppy dog eyes on me as she pouts. Lily managed to build up my resistance to the tactic, but Emmy's short stature adds enough to the effect to make me relent. So, how are things? I haven't seen you around for a while. Same old, same old. I run so fast nobody wants to join me in my morning runs. It's a real pain. Yeah, we did Emmy route first, and Emmy route is best route. Emmy is best girl. Her modesty never fails to amuse me. Although, you know what I'm thinking about, don't you? Wearing my emotions on my sleeve is one of my worst habits. She's seen right through me. Fortunately, I see someone else approaching. That'll give me an out. Oh, hi, Hanako. I give her a welcoming wave and try my best at looking like I hadn't noticed Emmy's pouting face. She gives a small wave back. Hey, Hisao, Emmy. Hey, Hanako. I'll join you and Lily in a second. Actually, speaking of lunchtime company, it's odd to see you without Rin, Emmy. Rin! Why is Hanako so surprised? Without a second word, she forgets all about us and bolts off up the hallway. She must have forgotten she was waiting for her. Hanako and I stand speechless, only able to helplessly stand and Watch this ball of seemingly boundless energy dash off. Oh yeah, Hisao. She suddenly stops herself just before vanishing around the corner to the rooftop staircase, spinning around to meet our bemused faces. I hate English too. I don't know why Emmy was here, but I'm glad. Like, I don't care why Emmy was here. I'm glad. Emmy's best route. All I can do is hang my head and give a long sigh, thoroughly left in the dust. As I hear a short giggle coming from behind me, I turn to see Hanako smiling at the corner of my attacker rounded. I picked up my drop bag from the floor and quickly dusted off. Afternoon. Busy? You don't like English? Nah. I had a test in it a while back and Emmy caught me brooding about the results. Sorry. She averts her gaze, guilt written onto her face. A casual observer would think she just accidentally reminded me of a dead relative. It's not your fault. How you doing in it? She looks up, still avoiding meeting my eyes. Alright. An awkward silence passes. They seem all too common around Hanako. Lily asked if you'd like to join us for lunch on the roof. Oh, we're having lunch on the roof today? Huh. Sure, I'll be right up. I'll go get my lunch from the cafeteria now then. Go on, you don't need my approval to leave, you know. Okay, I'll be going then. She gives a skittish reply, a small nod, and quickly makes off towards the cafeteria. Yeah, I mean, like, Emmy just went up to the roof. So, whatever. I guess she must have forgotten to bring lunch today. As I walk through the hallways, more and more students start to come out of classrooms and past me, going in the same direction as Hanako went. We really should help Hanako get her lunch. She doesn't do well with crowds, and we just ditched her to go to the cafeteria by herself. By the time I managed to make it to the stairs, I'm having to push my way past a busily chatting throng of students. I finally managed to get past the last of the crowd and around the staircase, slumping slightly and slowing my pace before I opened the door to the roof. Ah, damn. I momentarily avert my eyes, but all but blinded by a harsh summer sun. Huh? As I slowly regain my vision, the surroundings finally take form. Emmy's back! Woo! Lily, Emmy, and Rin sit together on the rooftop. Top of the hilltop forest around Yamaku, visible past the fence and around them, as if to frame the view. Ah, Hisao. Lily and Rin give a quick nod of acknowledgement and a deep nod of greeting respectively. I start walking towards the rather mismatched trio and can't help marveling at the speed with which Emmy devoured the rest of her half-eaten banana. Hey, strange to see you three together like this. Seems to have been quite the day of coincidences. Emmy and Rin decide to eat on the roof just as Hanako and I decide to. I think they're always there. This spot is ours. Simmer down, you can't steal a place in the school. I plonk myself down beside Lily, the four of us creating a semicircle. I think she is right. You too. The butterfly is her accomplice. As I glance around, sure enough, a small yellow butterfly floats across my field of vision. So tell me, how did this butterfly help Lily steal this spot? It scouted out our conversation and told her. I should have known better than to expect sound reasoning from Rin. Regardless, I guess it won't hurt to play along. You're telling me she can talk to butterflies? There are people who can talk to horses called horse whisperers. Lily must be a butterfly whisperer. Why can't she talk to flowers? Her name's Lily, after all. Rin is my least favorite waifu. Emmy's definitely number one. We haven't finished Lily yet, so I gotta give Lily a fighting chance. But Emmy's definitely number one. Rin is my least favorite. I'm burying my head in my hands as Emmy rounds on her strange companion. She doesn't seem to share Rin's sense of humor. Whisperers don't work like that. Emmy and Rin continue their banter as I turn to Lily, who's busily finishing off her small box of curry and rice. So what brought you up here anyways? Oh, Lily just wanted to see the sights. A little fresh air every now and then doesn't hurt. Ah. Emmy breaks off from her vain attempts to introduce the concept of logic to Rin. That's why we came up here too. Something tells me it was her idea alone, and that Rin only got dragged up here on the Emmy's whim. Then again, the same could probably be said of Lily and Hanako. Now then, we can share. Now we can share. The creaking of the door to the roof can be heard as soon as she says those words. A moment of silence falls over us as everyone's attention focuses on the figure appearing on it. Hanako slowly walks over to us, her eyes pinned to the ground, silently ruining the attention she's attracting. She tenses, just barely when her eyes met Rin's. I mean, is it really a good idea to bring Hanako outside? I believe Sunny Day makes fire type moves even stronger. I can't help raising an eyebrow as she walks over to us and sits next to me, doing her utmost to avoid looking up, even as she brings her cafeteria bread to her mouth. So, how do you and Emmy know each other anyways? Emmy is somewhat well known around the school for her athletic ability. She's the fastest member of the track and field club by some margin, even beating Mickey Miura at track meet last week. Mickey, good old one-armed Mickey. One-armed Mickey, that tanned girl who is pretty hot. Considering her height and toned body, being able to beat her is quite an accomplishment. Looking over to Emmy, it's very clear she's well aware of this fact as she beams proudly. So, Hisao, what's your score in English? Ah! No commento! Boo! She puffs her cheeks and pouts, but doesn't take long for her to bounce back. Alright. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Fine. We both say our results on 3. 1, 2, 3. 32. Ah, evil. Oh, look. Any flirting we get with Emmy is great. What's up, Sandra Raposo? How you doing? You said it, not me. Still, the fact that you managed an even lower score than mine is kind of amazing. Grrr. She looked and sounds like a small terrier growling at an intruder. I can't say it's the most threatening sight I've ever seen. Either way, scoring higher than 32 isn't something to boast about, much less scoring below it, but for any subject. Yeah, this plays me outside. He wants attention. Yes, Lily. Sorry, Lily. I could help you with your English if you like. It would be my pleasure. That's fine, but I appreciate the thought, really. Excuse me, I was talking to Hisao, not you. Lily looks slightly defeated, her hopes of imparting her knowledge dashed. Judging from the badly hidden laughter from the rest of us, neither she nor Emmy seems to have garnered too much pity. Ugh! My heart! I die! I sit in silence for a few seconds, all my concentration focused on my heartbeat. It's only a small pain, but the ache feels like it's growing. This is what happens when all my waifus get together. They're all like, wait, Hisao, weren't you flirting with me? No, Hisao was flirting with me. I kissed Hisao while I had anal sex with him. Nice. Breathe deeply, breathe deeply. I glance upward to try and keep at least some of my attention on my surroundings. To see Emmy suddenly freezing when she notices the expression of pain on my face out of the corner of her eye. That's right, Emmy notices me in pain. Lily, how come you can't notice the pain in my eyes? Hey, Sal, you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I look back. Redouble my efforts to try and stay calm. My fists, and clenching my fist to dull the pain. It takes a short time, but the pain thankfully begins to fade. When I look back up, there's only silence and pensive faces to be seen. Guess I'd better explain myself. Arrhythmia, it's only my heart. Are you sure? Should we get the nurse? Taking her cue, Hanako quickly picks herself up and begins to dash to the door. Hanako, stop. Lily, I'm fine. You look like a wet, wrinkled tomato. No, Rin. That's my scrotum. Huh? As I bring my head to my forehead, I can feel the beads of sweat gathered on it and dab them off with my cuff. Thanks. I told you I'm fine. I'm just kind of fragile, I guess. The entire atmosphere changed from one of gaiety to downcast faces, the situation being too awkward for anyone to know exactly how to react. And of course, the whole thing is thanks to me. It just had to happen now, around others. Oh, Emmy? Huh? She looks up a box of juice halfway in her mouth. I wish I were halfway in her mouth, if you know what I mean. What? Should I do it this way? Haven't told you my score yet, have I? You're half foreign, so your score doesn't count anyways. Lifting an eyebrow, I inquisitively turned to Lily. What was your test result anyways? 100. Suck on that! No way! All I can do is hang my mouth open and wonder. Considering those tests are insane even for some native speakers, I can only imagine she's gone and done something like committing to mind part of the dictionary. Does that really help with English scores? I mean, you're in high school. It's not like English is mostly memorizing a dictionary. A gift of rote memorization. That's... See? Only someone part foreign can get a score that good. See? Lily and I grin at Emmy's expense. Her reaction identical to mine when I first tripped on that little landmine. Lily's foreign ancestry does raise a point, though. That's right. You leave tomorrow for Scotland, don't you? What's Lily's disability? Being too damn fine. That's correct. Emmy heard some rumors about it. It seems word's spreading quickly, considering I only told a friend in my class a couple days ago. It must be nice to go halfway around the world on a holiday. Hey, could you buy me something while you're there? Don't be too shy now. Lily gives a lighthearted giggle, evidently fully expecting Emmy's bluntness. The rest of the lunch continues much the same as before, the jauntiness from before my heart flutter thankfully returning in full. As everyone flies off with the appropriate farewells, only Lily and I are left. Hey, Lily? She packs the last of her things into her bag and clips it shut before perking her head up slightly. Huh? Thanks for breaking the silence back there. I kind of wanted to stop it, but didn't really know how to. As much as I like to sound less morose about it, the letter from yesterday screwing up my test so badly in class, and now my heart makes things very hard indeed. It can't really stand up. She'll definitely notice it. She gives indulgent smile and nods. I hope she hasn't picked up on it. But knowing her, it's unlikely she hasn't. Emmy's strong, but only human. We do worry about you, Hisao. Why would I worry you? You know, fucking heart and you know, like almost dying at lunch. You know, shit like that. The usual. Hisao, we are not ignorant of your situation. She suddenly cuts herself short, unsure whether she should say what she intends to. I give a weak smile and rest my hand on her shoulder. It's enough that I worry about it. I don't want you to shoulder my burden. But if y'all worry about it, I have to worry about your worrying, if that makes sense. I'm fine, okay? For a moment, she looks lost in thought, carefully pondering how to react. Hisao, do you have any paper left for your food's packaging? I think so. I rummage around in my bag for leftovers from lunch, eventually finding a paper square for my sandwich's package. My eyebrow raised and my expression rather quizzical, I gently place a square onto Lily's hand. Without another word, she brings her fingers around it to feel out its edges. This should be large enough. With both of us seated on the roof, the minutes to the lesson ticking away, she proceeds to lay the item on the ground and begin her work in earnest. Wrapped in silence, I watch her fingers move about on a small square with amazing dexterity. A small fold here, a large fold there. Here a fold, there a fold, everywhere a fold. Looking up, her expression is calm and placid. The fact her face is pointed well above the sheet in front of her makes the sight of her work all the more curious. Her shoulders slump a bit. After finishing one final fold, her work apparently done, it's only when she holds the item up in her hands I realize what it is. A A small origami crane. Maybe I shouldn't have given her a piece of food colored in mayonnaise. Light brown thanks to the packaging used, the results look quite delicate and precise. You can do origami? I taught myself how to do it when I was younger. The instructions were very difficult to read. Huh. A little baffled, I carefully take the small bird from her pale, cupped hands, as if it would break from the slightest breath. It seems to be folded quite well and holds its shape easily. We both grab our bags and head out the door, Lily extending her cane as she does so. Lily wanted to make a point. Hisao, see this paper crane? It's beautiful, yet small and delicate, like you. Now, you know, sometimes something like this is easily broken and just... Take care of yourself. Don't end up like this crumbled crane. I hold Lily's handiwork up to my face for further inspection while we walk down the hallway, her hand running down the silver handrails for orientation. If she taught herself origami to improve her dexterity, what else could she use her hands for? I smile as I realize the bird's meaning. Everyone here has to find their own way of dealing with their conditions. You aren't alone here with your problems. Thanks, Lily, I appreciate this. She gives a sweet smile and a nod, not using words where none need to be used in her typical manner. All I ask is that you take care of yourself, Hisao. Don't worry, I will. Promise? Promise. And with that, we part ways. To be honest, I don't know what annoys me more, the fact that I could die at any moment or the fact that everyone knows that. I guess I'll just take each day as it comes, as the unexpected present in my hands reminds me I'm not alone here. Even though I may be like this, I'm not alone. If they worry, if anyone worries, I'll smile. I'll smile enough for all their worries to go away. New save.